Every single person here who's part of BAFTA, who's welcomed us, who's been so kind to us, who clearly has no need to, and when I was talking to some people from the studio, they were like, you know what, we never win. So this has been an incredible, wonderful, warm surprise.
This year's awards race has been uncharacteristically open, and strangely so, I think, and it's almost like a presidential primary where each candidate takes a step forward and a step back, and that nobody seems to have an ironclad advantage. And I think that the BAFTAs at least have drawn up a consensus finally, and the consensus is that Argo is the film to beat going into the Oscars.
Actions of Iran have shocked the civilized world.
Let's go, let's go!
Our embassy has been seized and more than 60 American citizens continue to be held as hostages.
We need to go now.
Lincoln comes in with the most nominations, but Lincoln is the front runner with the glass jaw. It keeps falling down, and Argo keeps kind of creeping up from behind and stealing the main award.
Well, you know, I gotta say, Ben, if this is your second act, I don't know what the hell you're gonna do for a third act, because
for whatever reason, we may never know, Argo has struck a chord. Maybe there is a wellspring of goodwill towards Ben Affleck. I've never been aware of it before. But it's clearly there. He was at the bottom rung of the Hollywood A-list as an actor, and he has amazingly reinvented himself as this very shrewd, savvy Hollywood filmmaker.
I've actually stayed in character as myself for the last 55 years.
Through the whole award season, you've had two categories that have been completely locked down. You've had Daniel Day-Lewis winning every Best Actor award and Anne Hathaway winning every Best Supporting Actress award. There's no way those two won't win the Oscars. And so whatever sort of surprises are thrown at us in a fortnight's time, Emmanuel Riva maybe taking it from Jessica Chastain or something like that, the apple cart can't be upset that much, I don't think.
Mais tu fais quoi? Tu avais laissé l'eau couler.
Emmanuel Riva is 85 years old. She's, one of the oldest people ever to be nominated for an acting Oscar as well. But it isn't a sentimental choice. I don't think we can put it down to that. I think it is a proper recognition of a superb bit of acting, a piece of acting that's at once embattled and defiant and dignified and graceful. And it stirs memories of her very early role in Hiroshima Mon Amour, which she actually got a BAFTA nomination for back in 1959 or 1960 or something. And it's basically showing her still incredibly graceful and beautiful, but a woman who is facing the end. And I think now she's going to go on to win the Best Actress Oscar, and that would be, again, an incredible story.
This is my third film in the UK in 3 years. I've actually worked more over here than in the States as of late. And I don't know how to say it without sounding like I'm comparing the two places, but I've just had the most divine experiences.
I think it was Samuel L. Jackson who said it looks like the whole of Hollywood's turned out, and you did see an amazing number of stars there last night. Incredibly, people like Jessica Chastain, who hadn't won, had flown over from New York and then got a helicopter through the snow just to be there and sit there and lose. And Joaquin Phoenix, who's notoriously doesn't like award ceremonies and lost, he was there too and even smiled, which was lovely. And we sort of wonder why they've all come to this, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. And I think there's probably two reasons for that. One is that the BAFTAs are the last big award ceremony before the Oscars, which are in a fortnight. And they're broadcast in America just before the Grammys on TV. So they're massively important. They're the last chance for these stars and films to campaign for those last Oscar votes. And the second reason, I think, is that there's actually rather a lot of Oscar voters in the UK itself, because British film has traditionally done so well there. That's interesting because at the moment, although UK attendance at the cinemas is up massively, lots of people are going and seeing the films, production itself is down by 30%, which is rather an amazing amount. And even films like Les Mis, as Stephen Fry pointed out, have, for British film, they've got an awful lot of Americans and Aussies in there. But of course, what you do see is that the legacy of Britain having done so well in the past and made so many movies is what now attracts all these Hollywood stars to Britain for the BAFTAs.